Hello and welcome back to Enlightened Affluence. I'm Candra, your host. And please remember, this is a channel for entrepreneurs and for dreamers. So if you already have a business and you're looking for resources, we have them. If you're trying to put your business together and you're wondering, how do I get started? Or even wondering what to do, we have that for you too. So you want to go ahead, definitely subscribe to the channel so you get notifications for when I post a new video. But also you want to definitely check out the links below, awesome resources for you. So today we have Darren Trimmingham. How are you doing today, sir?
How are you, Candra?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited that I can lock you down and get an interview for you on the channel. So let's just kick it off like from the beginning. Your brand, Straightwolf. Tell us about what you offer in the fitness space and with everything, because you're branded like for real.
Well, I can tell you where it came from. Straightwolf came from. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and just coming from a rough neighborhood, you just had to have thick skin, and you had to really, really dig deep in everything that you did, and execution. Right, I always talk about plan and execute. It's something that I think I put it's on the shirt, right? Plan and execute. So it's something that, like, we all have plans, but a lot of times we don't execute them. So being younger, playing basketball, it was just, I think I don't know, it was just like a lifestyle. I was like, somebody said something one day and they was like, oh man, straight wolf. Like I had to just be a straight wolf to get through it. And then I just adopted it and I just took it. And it happened a couple years later. We always used to say it growing up, playing basketball and stuff and going throughout life and navigating. And my mom, when she was alive, like she would be like, hey, Darren, you got to do this. You got to do this. I'm like, Mom, I got it. I'm a straight wolf. So I just adopted it and it just became a part of me. And then throughout the pandemic, I was just like, we have a mentor, and he was just like, what are you doing? And he just sparked the interest. And I always wanted to have something that I can be adopted to, but I wanted it to be my own. And I just said Straightwolf's the company. And then because I fell in love with fitness, bodybuilding, I played college basketball, and I just loved it. And I'm a fitness enthusiast. I love fitness, and I do it every day. So it just came into fruition, and Straightwolf was born.
We're going to get into that too, because as an entrepreneur, we have to have like habits and things in place. And when I say nothing stops you, even if you're in the middle of your workout, you will still keep your workout and you will still handle business. So what was it that helped you grow that mentality? Because it's not an easy mentality to grow.
Being from Brownsville, Brooklyn, it's a
Yes.
rough neighborhood, and it's just a hardened mindset. In order to make it out, you just got to have an uncanny mind. Your mind has to be like Brillo. It just cannot break. You have to have real testicle fortitude. You have to really push and be better than you were the previous day. Because I think that's what in anything that you do, it's mindset, right? So you look at the greats. I like basketball. I think basketball is life, adapted to life. So Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, you take a look at these guys and you look at all the things, what they accomplished. And they didn't accomplish them because they were more talented than anyone else, right? Because there's plenty of talented people in the NBA, but their mindset, their work ethic. And it's just something that I adopted. I just wanted to be more than what I saw every day, which was a blue collar person, right? And I don't knock anyone that isn't a blue collar, because that's how we all start, right? If we're not past generational wealth. You have to work hard, but I think you should have a plan, because oftentimes we'll see people who work until they're 65 and then they receive a pension and they'll live for 4 or 5 years and then they wonder why. You understand? You gave a company 30, 35 years of your life, and now it's time for you to live your life and then give you a pension and whatever savings that you have. And now you're supposed to live your lifestyle in that balloon of finance. And I just think that God has a special plan for us, that we're not just here to work and die.
That's absolutely true. Like I I actually had that thought last week. Like, this is not it. Making a living shouldn't be what life is about. It should be about living, making a life. And when you check in, clock in, and they're placing these demands on you and everything. And I don't think anyone is looking up as much as they should, because while you're, working hard and they're giving you a check, that person that's writing that check is on the golf course. They're living
Relaxing.
life, So
Relaxing.
it's like, I think that with everything that we have in place now, it's a lot more of us. There are a lot more of us that can be living instead of just living life and being educated on everything. And I know, like, when you talk about like Brownsville and everything, I have a lot of people that are close to my heart from Brownsville. We got the Bronx Brooklyn thing going
Tough.
on.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But Brownsville has brought some very, very special people, in my life. And it's that same drive, like nothing has stopped them, but at the same time, nothing stops them, but it's still heart behind it. It's a very like, the Brownsville doesn't have dog eat dog. It's like, I'm gonna get mine, I got a heart though, but I'm gonna get mine. You see what I'm saying? So I know, like, getting your fitness business together, and there's other business that you're into as well. And even like, you also have a career that you have that is not a career to sneeze at, you're
Yeah.
out there protecting us, like, for real. So when it gets hard, like when it really gets hard, and especially, you know, in the climate that we live in, what advice can you give to help people keep going? What can we do?
A lot of my resilience comes from my dad and my mom. My mom passed away from cancer, but she would always just tell me, just live. But my dad, he came from the West Indies, and he's an entrepreneur, and he made something of himself. But he would always tell me that you must persevere. And he always pushed it in me that life is a seesaw. Life is like a roller coaster. It's up, downs, and you just have to persevere. So there are times it's hard being positive. It really is. It's hard being positive. But I think um, your circle, your environment. So like we have a group and a network of people that are entrepreneurs and future millionaires, and we encourage each other. So that's my message to others. The road will get tough. There will be ups and downs. There's no doubt about it. There is no straight road, but you just have to be resilient, and you have to really crack down and say, how bad do you want it? Just like running, right? Just like running, you could be trained for a marathon. It's going to get tough. It really is. Having a baby, you see women have babies in 7, 8 months, and there's a life form growing inside them, right? And then no, I think women are the best thing in the world. I couldn't do it. you know, you know, you know, it's not happening, right? But it's just,
I said that too, and it happened.
like, so it's really, you have this life form inside of you that's birthing every single day. It's growing, it's eating, it's growing, it's eating, it's kicking you. And at the end of 9 months, you push out life. And I think that's just what keeps me going, knowing that Gary Vee said something, and it's haunting, but it's a pusher. You're gonna die. You're gonna die, right? So when you're asking me the question, what pushes me, one day I'm not gonna be here anymore, and I don't want to be older and be like, I should have, So that's my motor. My parents, and just always read where I came from. I saw so many things, and I realized that in order to be different, in order to be good or great, you have to have super resilience, and you have to be able to persevere.
That is an absolute. That is an absolute. And when you look at it that way, I think a lot of times from the different environments, and especially like the tri-state environment, it's like, okay, you know what? We just go get it. And
Yeah.
um, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Along the way, I still want it to be a journey and everything. And when it comes to your journey, like we can find you for fitness, which that's just not just like you don't just want to be able to live it nor you dying. You want to be able to enjoy it. And this is our real estate. So you take
Mhm,
care of our real estate,
mhm,
right? But you also take care of our pockets. You're
mhm,
into investing,
mhm.
and there's people can contact you about that as well.
Yeah,
And we'll stay
definitely.
within the guidelines of what you can talk about and things like that.
Mhm.
But definitely reaching out for you as far as like what for things like life insurance, things of that,
Investments.
and investments and things like that. Let's delve into life insurance real quick because this is one of those things that for the Black and Brown community, we must at every turn talk about the necessity of it, that this is a bill that we must pay. So what advice can you give about us? And every time I have someone on here about finance, I'm talking about this. So what is the need for that?
So I have a mentor, another financial mentor. His name is Coach Jay, I call him. And I met him a couple years ago. I probably met him like 3 years ago, and I didn't have life insurance, right? Um, and it's so crazy that we go and we'll put insurance on our phones. We'll
Mm-hmm,
put insurance on our watches, right?
mm-hmm,
We'll put insurance on our cars, but we don't put insurance on ourselves, and not good ones at least, right? Because we'll dive into that. What's good insurance is bad insurance, but how can you, right, as a person, leave something or create generational wealth if you let's just say you worked a 9 to 5 for 30 to 40 years. So you didn't amass a large sum of money, right? You just worked for money and worked paycheck to paycheck and did whatever you had to do. The greatest thing about life insurance is that it's not about the money. It's the people that you leave behind. Life doesn't stop for them. So if you were making $100,000 a year, right, and you die and you have a family, when you die, that money that they were receiving from you being alive, it doesn't stop. So quality of life doesn't deteriorate. And I think that's the first part. You have to leave something for your loved ones, child, spouse, whoever your caretaker was, right? You have to leave something because that's just what you're supposed to do. It's in the Bible, right? All right, I don't want to get too philosophical or biblical, but if we want to take something, you just have to leave something. What are we here for, right? You can't just extract and not leave something. So that's the first part is creating generational wealth. And if you look at it, like how many shootings, how many deaths were around, and you were all over the internet, Facebook, Instagram, what have you, and you would see a family have to use a GoFundMe to raise $10,000 to cremate someone. Because with funerals now, $10,000, they might not do it, right? Depending on where you're at, the demographics.
mm-hmm,
So let's talk about that. How, as a family, you lost income if that person was bringing in income. Secondly, they quality of life is done and you don't even have money to give them a proper burial. So that's what I help with. That's what I help with. My goal is to make everyone get everyone insured, because one, it's a perfect way to have create generational wealth and leave an estate for your loved ones. Secondly, it's 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 asinine that you don't have it. Like, I don't know how people go about life. They'll dress nice, they'll have a great car, they don't
mm-hmm,
have life insurance. It's a travesty. So what we teach, right, is there's two types of life insurance. There's whole life and there's term life. Um, and whole life is attached to a savings plan, right? The savings, you pay into it, you borrow from it, but you don't get it at the end of the policy if someone passes, right? So say you got $150, say you have $100 worth of life insurance, 50,000 worth of Savings, if something happens, the 50,000 goes back to the insurance company. With term life, you get to it is if someone passes away, it's term life. It's either a 20-year term or 30-year term. And what we teach is buy term and invest the difference. If you take the if you add 100, if your policy was $100 and your savings was $50, you take 50 and you put that in a mutual fund or an investment or a Roth fund, and it's growing interest. Well, and that's your money. You get what I'm saying? That money you don't have to pay back. And I think that's just a principle that people need to adopt, because you can have money through your 401k in your job. It's always good to have a personal one. And those are the principles that I reside on and I share with everyone else.
And what states are you licensed in?
Currently, right now, I'm licensed in New York, Florida, and New Jersey.
Okay. All right. So anybody that's watching this in New York, New Jersey, Florida, contact Darren. Got you. Educate you on it and get you what you need. Now let's go into the next part of this. There's always something else. Affirmations. Because the thing is, it's crazy because what you do for a living is high stress. And you do have a lot of stress relievers in place, working out, playing ball, all these different things. And then you have, the other part, which is high brain power. So if you're not physically stressed, then your brain is like, and you have all these controls in between. So how do you manage all of that? And what are your daily affirmations? Like, how do you start your day?
Oh man, you put me on the spot here. I have a couple, right? I have a couple that I do. Mostly I just talk to the higher power. But affirmations, I have some. Okay, I'll give you the first one that I start with every day. So every day I get up, oh, thank the Lord for waking me up, brush my teeth, take a shower, and I'm on my way to work, right? So my first one that I usually either say this while I'm driving. I mean, not while I'm driving, but before I drive, and or throughout the day if I get bogged down so first one is, my ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite. Today I abandon my old habits and I take up new and more positive ones. Right. So that was that's one that and then there's obviously wealth affirmations. And another one that I tell you, another one that people don't understand, either it's a personal relationship or a friendship, right? That's one that I have, is I only attract healthy, loving relationships. I happily give and receive love each day. So I think that is so much more important. And that piggybacks going on to atmosphere, environment, who you're around. And constantly we must always want to be around the people that we want to emulate. So if you want to be a fisherman, you got to go get with a group of fishermen. You want to be a model, you need to go hang around models. And I think so we have a lot of dreamers, because you did say that, right? Yeah. And that's something that I never want anyone to not do. Dream, because I believe in the dream is our purpose. Because our dreams, right, they're innate. You can't say, tonight I'm going to dream this, right? Right. Right. Our dreams are innate. They come from somewhere, whether it's a desire, whether it's a higher power, whether it's a bad energy, good energy, right? So they come from somewhere. But I believe that they definitely come from a positive place, and the dreams have to be followed up with work. So Absolutely. Those are some of my greatest affirmations. Is I just say what I want. Like say I wanted $10,000 by Friday. This week I'm making $2,000 a day, and I'm gonna get to it, right? So I think it's and the way we talk to each other. Like, say you made a mistake on a test. Oh man, I'm so stupid. I don't use any of those negative because I believe words have power. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. I believe so. If you say something and you constantly say it, or like someone say, man, I feel like I'm getting sick. Sure enough, you're getting sick. Sure enough. You
You
know,
do.
so that's me. It's just positivity. I breathe it. I just always try to stay positive. Like I got into a car accident. I make sure I check my vitals, and then I'm like, man, all right, what's the next step? You know, it happened already.
Right. Exactly. And that is so important. I was actually having that same conversation with my son yesterday about the power of language and a couple of my other friends, because language delayed my progress. My inner conversation delayed my progress. So I'm a big proponent of, especially instilling it in our kids too. Instead of saying it's always going to be hard or this is so hard, it's like, I can manage this. I can get the resources to make this easier. I can do this to get this done. And I compared the language and I said, watch your body. It lifts up instead of saying this is always hard. Like naturally, it's like, you know what, I can get this done.
I got
Piece
this.
by piece. I got it.
Straight
And
wolf.
it doesn't you and it takes you from having bad days to having a bad moment. You have bad and you see it go like quicker and everything. So I definitely I know I'm gonna have you on here again because there's
Definitely.
something else I want to get into with you, and that is really going more into fitness and food. And I'll give you a little hint because I think we had discussed this before with my book. We were discussing food. And what inspired my book actually was conversations I had over a 3-day period with men of color who needed to change how they ate so that they could feel better, function better, live longer. And what their focus was just so like no, you need to empower yourself and you have that mindset. And so when I have you on again, we're gonna go into that.
Let's do it. I'm excited because oftentimes a lot of people practice fitness, right? So they'll attend the gym, they'll attend the workouts, they'll be a runner. However, and this I'm speaking from experience as well, because I was always the physical person, but the diet the diet is more important than the physicality. 1,000%. So obviously being a man of color, diabetes, high cholesterol, heart conditions, those are things of interest and things that we have to take care of. But water is such a powerful source, and people don't understand it. Your intake of water can help a lot, but the salts, gotta stay away from. I mean, whenever we get into it, we can.
But you see, we just set it up. They're coming bring it.
The salts
Very
are
careful too,
toxic.
because I
Yeah,
don't cook with salt, and if I do, it's a very little. I control.
very little.
And there's so many different things. Yeah, we're gonna have that conversation because that's gonna be a fun one. But it can be fun, like really, and you know how I feel about food. You already know, like me.
Listen,
creating it.
we're gonna have to really, whenever you're ready, because I was at the Food and Wine Festival and I looked at all the wonderful chefs they're on the TV all the time, and he was just like, don't let anyone tell you can't eat salt. It's the kind of salt. When you get the rock kosher salt, he said, and as you as a chef, he said, start high and let it flow. And it was relieving to know, there are bad salts, there are bad sugars as well. So we'll dive into that. I don't want to give the people too much.
I can't wait for that one. We might have to do that one in our kitchens too. We have to do that one in our kitchens.
Definitely.
But in closing, I want to let you have the final word for the entrepreneurs, for the dreamers, for people who are trying to, live that life and be living and really put something in there into the planet that they don't know that we don't know we need yet. What do you advise them to do?
For the entrepreneur, a younger me, a young man coming up, a young woman coming up, what I would advise you to do, speaking to my younger self or someone that's just coming up or lost, right? Because there are plenty of people that people don't understand. I think, was it Kentucky Fried Chicken? He didn't become wealthy until he was like 70, right? Mm-hmm. So one, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, because I was a person like that, like, I'm 30, I don't have this yet, right? So 1, be patient and kind to yourself. 2, get a mentor. That probably should be number 1, right? Get a mentor, because you cannot get to where you don't know where to get to. You need a mentor. You need someone that has been there before, has done it, trustworthy, and has a good track record. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I have another slogan: bet on yourself. That's one of my other slogans. I bet on yourself, and whatever genre you want to be in, whatever avenue, car enthusiast, right? Study your craft. You have to be obsessed with your craft, whatever it is. So finance, I didn't know how to read the stock market. Chris, what do I do? You look red, green. What is this, stop sign? Right? You gotta spend time.
Yes.
You gotta spend time. Reading is so good. Like I try to read at least a book a week. It's tough, but I do audiobooks. That's my new thing, Audible. So let me go down the line. I said, get a mentor, believe in yourself, be patient with yourself, and study finances. Study finances. So many people have finance degrees, but don't know the game of money. Money's a game. It really, truly is a game. And once you learn the game, then you can apply it. Have a relationship with the higher power. If you don't believe in them, just always believe in yourself. That's one thing I can say. Believe in yourself. Study your craft. Study the money game, and get a mentor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is beautiful and very wise information too, because if you don't know, then you don't know.
You don't know. And never not ask how, what, when. I think it was Albert Einstein said, I was a fool before I asked how, what, when. All right. So always ask questions. If you're in school, college, always sit in the front. Hey, professor, I don't understand that. You know, that's me. I'll ask questions. I'm gonna ask Candra some questions too about this cooking, because I love lamb. So Candra, we're gonna.
I got you. I got you.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, Candra. Don't get me started. We're gonna
do this. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm a real Candra. I'm warning you. I'm a real foodie though. Like,
that's creation. I get into create, and that is me. Like that's the passion. So we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna get it together, and we're gonna come back to this. But I thank you so much for making the time to come on today. We're gonna definitely put all your website information, Instagram, and everything at the bottom. You want to check out straightwolf.com. Everything excellently laid out. Website. It's excellent. And then the 21-day challenges on there as well. So definitely check it out. And reach out for finance.
Yeah, anyone that wants to get in contact with me, you have to go to the website or Instagram. Instagram is it's a wonderful tool. So my Instagram handle is Straightwolf, just the way it sounds, Straightwolf _ STRAIGHTWOLF _ And my goal is to just teach everyone what I knew, because I had bad credit. Now I have excellent credit. So someone taught me.
Yes.
Drop
that real quick. Drop that real quick. Drop where it went from to where it went to and how long it took. Just give that real quick, because we might have to get back into that one too.
We got to get into that too, because the power of credit is phenomenal. So 626, and now I'm at 801.
Ooh. And how long did it take you? 15 years? 3 years?
About a year. Year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half.
About a year and a half. So it is not impossible. So that's another one we have. And actually that video is on your Instagram TV, right?
Yes.
I never say that right. The ITV, right? IGTV. So the link is on your Instagram as well. Go to IGTV, and you spoke about that. So yeah, that's incredible, and that's what we're helping people do that as well. So you definitely want to reach out, because if you don't know how important credit is, and everything. So
Wow.
I think we got about 3 shows coming up. We got 3 shows.
Listen. Listen, my calendar just says Candra. My calendar just says Candra. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. The people need to know.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for coming on and
Thank you
bringing
so
your
much,
presence
Candra.
and your energy to my channel. It's going to help a lot of people, and I greatly appreciate you and what you do. And next time coming up, people, food.
Straightwolf. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Absolutely. We'll
All
see
right.
you all soon. Bye.